Alright, so today is going to be your first lesson of 7th grade material. Hopefully the only time you guys are working with 7th grade material. This will be on your, excuse me, end of Unit 2 assessment, okay? Now, this will not be on the benchmark next week on the 27th, and it will not be on the 6th grade GOG. We are supposed to spend like 10 days on scale drawing. We are not. Mainly because as important as it is for you to know, it's also important for you to make sure you know the 6th grade material that you are going to be tested on. Alright, at the end of the year, we spend like a month and a half or so working on 7th grade, nothing but 7th grade material. Okay, so this is just kind of a touch of it. Now, before we get started, I just need to make sure. River, Hunter, Haley W, or Haley M, Emily, Haley, Raheem, and Ethan, and Ace. All of you need to get your iPads and go outside and finish your assessment from yesterday. If you need new paper, it's back there. Grab a new sheet. Yeah, just grab one. Alright, so we are going to start out with a little activity. So it says, here's a portrait. So here's a portrait of a student. Look at portraits A through E. How are each of them the same or different from the original portrait? So this is your original portrait. So you're comparing A, B, C, D, and E as like, how are they the same as this one and how are they different as this one? All right, number 2, it says some of portraits A through E are scaled copies of the original portrait. Which ones do you think are scaled copies? And then explain your reasoning. Okay? Any questions? So, number 1, I feel like we can definitely do on our own because we're just kind of comparing and contrasting. Number 2, you might need a little bit of help, but I want you to try it first on your own. Does that make sense? So, for example, like original to A, how are they the same? How are they the same? Jack?
Both have 2 parallel sides and they're both rectangle.
Okay, so they both have 2 parallel sides and they're both a rectangle. Perfect. How are they different? How are they different? Cooper?
Portrait A is a little bit taller.
So it's stretched out a little bit? That's all you're doing for number 1. You're just kind of looking at this one and comparing how it's different and how it's the same. All right, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do number 1 and number 2. And then we will go over this together if I can find my phone. this work. Alright, go ahead and put your pencil down. So, let's go ahead and talk about how these are the same and how they're different. So, I already kind of talked about letter A. So, what about letter B? So, how is it the same? Michaela.
So they're the same because they are both the same portrait brush.
That cannot be the only thing that is the same. We already know they're all the same picture, right? So that can't be the only thing you say that is the same. Because there's something else that is the same about this. Yes.
They're all of them are put in black and white, or is that just how it was printed?
It's just how it's printed. It's not black and white. Because we did it on our iPads. Jack.
They're all parallelograms.
Okay. So you're saying that for all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it does include basically A and B and the original.
Okay. Alright. What else is the same?
They are rectangular shapes.
Alright. Anything else?
They'll have 4 sides.
Alright, what's different? So what is different? Raheem.
It's wider than the other. It's wider
So for B, wider, okay? What else? Jackson,
I think it might be shorter too.
so it's smushed and stretched,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay? Alright, anything else? What did you come up with, Jack?
They all have different width and sizes.
So, different lengths and sizes, okay? Alright, let's look at C. How is C different? Mason.
It's small.
Alright, what else? I mean, there's really not a right or wrong answer, but there's kind of a right or wrong answer, so I need to see new hands. Like, it's okay, this is new, guys, so it's okay if you don't necessarily have the exact right answer. You might be kinda right, and we can tweak it a little bit. Alright, Gabriel.
If you enlarge the original copy or the original portrait, you will get D.
So you're saying that these are exactly
No,
the
he said
same?
enlarge.
Hold on.
Enlarge it.
Let me finish what I was gonna say. So you're saying that these are exactly the same, the only difference is this is a tad bit larger.
Yeah, and you can say
It's not stretched out, it's not distorted, it's not squished together, so,
That's the answer to.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
can say that
answer
for
to
C.
too, just small.
okay, so these are interesting things,
That's the
so,
answer to number C.
just stop. Good God, child. So C and D, you're saying is either a larger version or a smaller version of the original.
Yes.
Perfect. Alright, and then let's just talk about E real quick. There's a ton of things that are different about E to the original.
It's slanted.
So slanted, alright, what else? Michaela?
It's in a different angle.
Different angle. Alright, and so these are a couple of words you're gonna hear me say a ton today, and I need you to get them into your vocabulary, especially when we were talking about scale drawings. So technically E is distorted. Do you understand what I mean when I say E is distorted?
Yeah.
Christian?
Yes, it's changed in
Right, so it's very different. It's distorted. There's quite a few things going on. A and B are either stretched or smushed. Okay, so A, we took it and we stretched it, which made it super skinny. So, and then B, we smushed it, which made it super wide. And then C and D, as Gabriel said, it's just a larger or smaller version. They didn't do anything to it except for make it bigger or make it smaller. All right, so as Jack was trying to jump way far ahead, it says some of the portraits A through E are scaled copies of the original. Which ones do you think are scaled copies?
I think D and C are, because with C, you just make it a little bigger, it's original D. If you shrink it some, it's basically original. They just basically just like smaller.
All right.
They didn't stretch it.
Right, so they didn't change anything. They didn't squish it. They didn't widen it. They didn't do anything. Yes.
I'm kind of just, the way I explained it is that both their height and width are changed and not just one or the other.
Right. And essentially they are changed to the same amount.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
equal.
Yes. So essentially they're an equivalent portrait of the original. Okay? So you said width and length are equally changed.
Yes.
All right, Michaela?
Wouldn't E be the same?
Nope. E is distorted. E is stretched, smushed, and completely changed. There's no way it is a scaled copy. What?
And this kind of got me thinking of like ratios, because like the same as like 1 to 2 is the same as like 2 to 4.
Right, 100%. So, next year you guys will be talking about scaled factors, which I think we talked just a very brief bit, but you're going to talk about scaled factors, which essentially are ratios. Okay, so in a way, yes, this is kind of geometry, yes, this is kind of ratios, this is a lot of things thrown in together. All right, anything else we want to add to number 2? Slide over to number 3. What do you think scaled copy means? So what do you guys think it means?
I think it's a copy size to a specific portrait. So if it's a big portrait, it'll be scaled to be big, and if it's a small one, it'll be scaled to be small.
Are you, so you're saying anything that's bigger or smaller? Because it's not always going to be a portrait, and you're going to find out why I say that, because the next activity isn't a portrait. So could we say that it's anything or any object?
Yeah.
What do you think, Cooper?
It's something that is like pretty much the same, like an object that's the same as another object, just to a different scale.
Okay, but we can't use the word scale in our definition.
That is either.
So let's change anything. I don't like anything. So any object. I'm gonna take a little bit of what Christian said. That is bigger or smaller.
Yeah.
But not stretched or distorted. You need to make sure you have these words in there. So if you didn't copy that down, please do that now. All right, thumbs up when we have this done. All right, so it says here's an original drawing of the letter F and some other drawings. So flip your paper over. So this is your original, this one right here. So this is your original. Then you have your other pictures of different Fs. You are going to, as a group, complete number 1. It says identify all drawings that are scaled copies of the original F, explain how you know. And then number 2, it says explain all the scaled copies more closely. Specifically, the lengths of each part of the letter F. How do they compare to the original? What do you notice? All right, so I'm going to give you 7 minutes. You are working with your group members right now. Go ahead.
No, it says that.
Oh.
Yeah, 5. Wait, no, it's not 5, because the top is only 1 page. Yeah, so
Oh, I get it. Okay, so.
and then that's not drawing 6.
Yeah,
Drawing 6 is
we're
going
doing
to matter.
six, too.
It's still equal.
So it's not drawing 4.
It's definitely not drawing 4.
Not drawing 4, not drawing.
It's not drawing 3 for sure.
Wait, aren't we doing like scale drawing? Didn't we do this every
Double. No, it could be double. Double. Two. 2 is 1. 2 is 1. 5. This is 2. Drawing 5. Circle 2. And 2.
It's like
No, because there's only 3 on the top. All the other measurements
Oh. So what is it?
The others were multiplied. No, because the others were multiplied by 2. That has to be 2. Because if you look at the other example, it's this. She said that in order to be a scale copy, all the sides have to be subtracted or taken away by the same amount. So it can't be that one because it's not all the same amount. No.
So I it's
They call me the big brain for 6.
So could it be drawing
Times 3. It has to be times 3 on everything. Yeah,
so it would
so it's 7, 2. Number 7, number 2. Let's check number 5.
it's,
Oh wait, no, we were talking about.
yeah, so it wouldn't be number 1, so it would be drawing 7.
It's 7 and 2.
Yeah. Okay. No. Did you say to me number 1? Okay. Identify all the drawings that are still copied. Oh no, yeah, no.
Okay, so 7. Oh yeah.
In order to have a scale copy, all the measurements, all of, in order 7, because in order to have a scale copy,
Go ahead, quickly.
the measurements have to either subtract or add. So all of them are all the same except for 5, 6, or 3.
Either add or multiply.
Wait, no. Just add,
Like, what is it like?
subtract or add, even, no, not even. The same amount. It's always the scale copy. Now, and 7 is multiply all the things and multiply by. Because multiply and add, they're inverse, so. I mean, add, subtract, like, I know.
Yeah, me too. I know you.
You get what I'm saying? It's just hard to explain.
Yeah.
You know what we mean?
Are you the Juma? It's 7 because in order to have a scaled copy, the measurements have to subtract or add or like they have to be the same.
That goes for both of them, so we don't have to put just for 7.
Yeah.
Just put
I was thinking of that. What are you guys doing?
All in all the directions. So no,
To be
it would be
honest,
like
I'm just gonna write
7
it
because in order to have a scaled copy, the measurements have to subtract or add. 2 because in order to have a scaled copy, the measurements
Oh my
have to
gosh,
subtract or
Cooper.
It's 6.
Stay clean. Okay, number 2. Examine all the scaled copies marked plus 6.
Maya coming in clutch. Even Archie doesn't.
Did she say something number 2? Nobody knows. Huh? I don't know. I'm not Charles, did they say that to do number 2? Did they say to do number 2?
I don't know.
I don't need
No one knows.
I don't think it's actually I was gonna say no.
Oh, yeah. You guys know. If everybody says they don't know, then that means they didn't hear number 2, which means we don't have to do it. Because she didn't tell us to do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna read it.
My book is
Okay. They did. I told you. Okay. Examine all the scaled copies more closely, specifically the length of each part of the step. How do they compare?
She said only there was like.
I'm not trying to control it. I'm making sure.
Guys, quiet.
No, that's me. You're not allowed to. Oh, I'm coming on you. You're bound to say not. You're bound there. He's gonna break your trigger. Guys, be quiet. No,
This is how you get 30. Or that. I said from the bottom.
Let's jack. Imagine she's hiding behind that desk.
Did anybody see the wall?
No.
She's in there making food.
No, give me 30 seconds.
I mean, I could actually get some.
Imagine she's right outside talking to the people outside. What would you do in that scenario?
Miss Kenny, are you making soup?
That's too much weight.
Cooper, why on earth are you such a film with your red belt?
See? He was bouncing.
That's cool. When you break it, you pay $187. That's
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
you have to take it back.
Do I look like I'm playing with you right now?
Who tried to warn you? Yeah, bro. I told you.
Alright, let's go ahead and go over this since we're clearly having way more fun not doing what we're supposed to be doing. Alright, we're going to do the stand up, sit down thing. So your original is the one on the left. Stand up if you guys picked drawing number 1 as a scale drawing. Don't look around. If your group picked drawing number 1 as a scale drawing, stand up, please. You are correct. Have a seat. Have a seat. All right, stand up if you picked drawing number 2 as a scale drawing. All right, you are correct. All right, sit down. stand up if you pick drawing number 3 as a scale drawing. Alright, so very quickly, why is this not a scale drawing? Alexa.
Not equal and they're elongated.
Say it again.
The lines are not equal and they're elongated.
So the lines are not equal, they're elongated. It looks like these were, like this was made multiplied to be bigger and this was multiplied to be smaller. Okay, so no, drawing number 3 is not 1. Alright, stand up if you pick drawing 4. Alright, why is this not Jason?
It's distorted.
It's distorted, perfect word, I love it. Alright, drawing number 5. Stand up if you pick this as your answer. That is not. Why is number 5 not an answer choice? So why did you, those of you who picked it, why did you say yes? Jackie?
So I tried to explain it, but my teammates, I kind of wasn't really like a group because they tried convincing me that it was only number 5, and I was trying to explain to them.
Ooh, just like threw him under the bus and ran over him. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, but so they said number 1 there was only one like gap in between like the bottom line and the top line, that number 5 was right because
I was saying
like,
it was all extended by
yeah, because he thought all of them were extended by 1.
like so.
So then what would you multiply the original measurements by? So if this is 4, this is 1, this is 2. If they're only extended by 1, what would you multiply it by to get the same measurement for each part? Ooh.
You just add 1 to each.
You can't just add 1 to each. It's not, it wouldn't be a scale drawing then. Okay? Alright, what about drawing 6? Stand up if you pick drawing 6. Drawing 6 is not. Why? Why? River.
Because
Listen, guys.
the second part of the S, like, it's not, it's supposed to be half as like, that's all the top part.
Right. So the top and the bottom cannot be the same way. All right, and then stand up if you pick drawing 7. All right, so have a seat. Now, you heard me ask about number 5, because number 5 seems like it could work, right?
Yeah.
So if drawing number 1 works, and I wrote 4, 2, and 1, what is the 4, the 2, and the 1 essentially? What is that representing? What do you think that's representing? Anthony? Right, so this is 4 units, this is 1 unit, this is 2 units. So in order for this to be a scale drawing of this, you have to multiply each one of these by the same number, just like you do with ratios to find an equivalent ratio. So you multiply all the numbers times 1.5. Go ahead and multiply all the numbers times 1.5 and see if it equals that. If I did it right. I might not have done this one right. I did? Okay. Because this is new for me too, guys, so I've never taught scale drawing, so I had to do my homework last night. Alright, so if you multiply the 2 times the 1.5, do you get the same measurement as what the top is actually equal to?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know, you tell me, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. So the top should be equal to 3, correct?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if you multiply the 1 times 1.5, that should be what the 1.5. And then this should be 6. So now I want you to figure out what you multiply 4 to 1 Vi to get the dimensions for this one. If you haven't done it yet, do it now. If you have done it, stand up for me. All right, Christian, what do you multiply each one of these numbers by to get the length of those? Okay, so this becomes 4, 2, and 8. What about the drawing number 7? What do you multiply the original by to get those? Michaela?
3.
Times 3, so this should be 12, 3, and 6. Thank you. All right, so now does it make a little bit more sense with not looking at just a picture, but actually looking at something that we can apply math and numbers to?
Yes.
Okay. So for your answer for number 1, 1, 2, and 7 can all be what?
Scale drawing.
They're all scale drawings, but I don't want to hear the word scale drawings because we're still not 100% sure what a scale drawing is. But what did we prove that 1, 2, and 3 all are?
They can be multiplied by number, and all of them are equal from the original copy.
Multiplied, well, this is kind of the same answer for that one, but it'll be okay. Can all be multiplied by the same number, which makes them what? Finish what you said? Can all be multiplied by the same number, what? I'm looking for like a keyword. I've said it a couple times, I'm looking for a keyword though. Yes. Multiply by the same number, which makes them equivalent. All right, number 2, it says, examine all the scale copies more closely, specifically the lengths of each part of the letter F. How do they compare to the original? What do you notice? So in a sense, we kind of answered number 1 and number 2 with the same thing. I'm not going to make you guys rewrite it. I feel like at this point, for the most part, we have it. All right, slide over to number 3. This one you are doing on your own. Please show how you know that it is a scale drawing. So how to use 1, 2, and 7 as your example. But you cannot use the measurements of 1, 2, and 7. You have to do a different measurement. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Go. There wasn't one on the table. You're always going to be able to stand up when you're finished. All right, have a seat. Who would like to share their scale drawing? All right, River, bring your paper up, please. And you just kind of have to explain what you did. So put it under there, so everyone can see.
Except for here is 4 times the original length.
Speak up a little bit, baby.
I took the original up and enlarged it by 4, and it has 8 at the top, 16 at the side, and 4 for this other part.
Okay, cool, thank you. All right, who did a different one? Oh. Different one. Layla.
I multiplied it by 2.5, and multiplied it by 5 by 2, you get 5, and multiplied it by 4, you get 10, and multiplied by 1, you just get 5. Wow, I did 4.
Okay, very nice, cool. Thank you. All right, Cooper. Jackson, I'm gonna call on you last, calm down.
Okay, well, I think I did the same thing with Jackson.
Oh, Lord.
I did the same thing as River.
Okay, well, me and Jackson both did times 5, I think.
Right.
But I just made mine fit. Yeah, I can print it sideways, so
I didn't do
it
mine
didn't fit regular.
out of the paper.
All right, so you did times 5,
Yeah.
so what are your measurements?
This top line was 10, and then right here is 24, and right here is 5.
All right, Cooper.
Yes!
Last one.
Yeah.
So, I just did something.
Because you said you and Jackson did the same one, right?
No,
Well,
mine
you
wasn't
told
sideways.
Jackson
Mine wasn't
you were
sideways.
gonna let him do it.
Well, if y'all got the same one, I want
It's
something
not the-
different.
Well, mine isn't sideways though.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Here, I'll change it to times 6.
Okay, all right, while he's changing his, listen to Cooper.
Alright, so I just did it times 2 to keep it simple, and so that's 4, that's actually 8, but I just did 4 and 4 because it was better. And then it was just
Okay.
We already did times 2.
no, we did 2 times 2.5.
I'm sorry, we are not rude to each other. The only person that, in this room that is rude is me. So do not talk to each other like that.
Good point.
All right,
We did times 2.
it's okay, it's all right. Take a deep breath. I messed mine up originally, so this is why it's always good, thank you. Do you use a pencil and not a pen? I did not read the directions, I just drew one and I was like, oops, I gotta make a different one. So this is mine. Jackson, are you ready yet?
Yes.
God bless, come on, kid. Waiting on you.
I went a little bit more out of the paper.
Alright, last one, and then we're gonna move on to our last activity for today.
Okay, so it went a little bit out of the paper, but you can definitely trust me. I think that's 24.
You think so?
So I
We
times
can definitely trust you.
that's definitely times 6. I forgot to change it, but that's times 6, and so it's 2 times 6 to get 12, 2 times 4 to get 24, and 6 times. Oh, I said 2 times 4 to get 24. I meant 6 times 4 to get 24, and then 1 times 6 to get 6.
Remind me not to hire you to be a tutor for a child.
I'd be an amazing tutor.
Alright.
I mean, as a guy.
Alright, listen. Thank you guys for those of you who came up and shared. Why were all of those scale drawings though? Why? Explain to me, raise your hand. Why were they all scale drawings? Jason?
Because they were all about the same number. As an example, 7 plus 3.5 plus 14.
Right, so because they're all multiplied by that same number, so they're all a type of equivalent, aka scale drawing. Alright, the last part that you guys are gonna do today is you and a partner are gonna get a stack of these cards. You are going to have to mix them up, put them face down. You're gonna take turns with your partner to match the pair of polygons that are scale copies of one another. So flip it over. So for each match you find, explain to your partner how you know it's a match. For each match your partner finds, listen carefully to their explanation, and if you disagree, explain why. So we haven't really had a chance to like talk about how you disagree or you agree with somebody in class. So a non-example, like let's say Cooper and I are partners and he shows me and I'm like, I don't feel that that's true. I do not say to Cooper, you're stupid, I don't want to hear your, no, we don't do none of that. We don't say, see, no. What you would say, what I would say to Cooper, I'd be very polite to him and I'd be like, hey Cooper, I disagree with your thinking because. Ethan, why are you talking? But you're very respectful to the person because their explanation, they might have just confused two words. But if you make them feel a certain kind of way, they're going to have feelings towards you. It's just not going to be a good thing. Plus, we won't be able to do group work at all. There are too many of us in here for y'all to be arguing with each other, bottom line. So if you disagree with your partner, it is a very polite, I disagree with you because, or I disagree with your thinking because, or I disagree with your explanation because. That is it. There should be no other conversation. If you cannot control your mouth to not have different conversations, then say, you know what, Miss Kenny, can I just have a stack by myself and I'll do it on my own. That's how easy it's going to be. So if you feel like you cannot work with people today, you let me know right away. So again, the first part you're just kind of matching. Then for number 2, it says when you agree on all of the matches, check your answers with the answer key. I have the answer key. You let me know. I'll let you know. Then it says select one pair of polygons to examine further. Draw both polygons on the grid. Explain or show how you know that one polygon is a scale copy. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. If you would like to work in a group of 3, I'm okay with that. If you want to work by yourself, I'm okay with that. If you want to work with just one other person, I'm okay with that. Okay, so at this point, your learning is in your hands. Make the wisest decision to help you. It is 1:27. Listen. So I'm gonna stop you guys about 1:30. I'm sorry, 1:40 if you're not done, so that you have enough time to get your cool down done. Okay. So once you get your partner, come get this. You can move around the room if you want, and get to work.